half of all shipping containers going anywhere in the world use China's growing global high street, statistics now show. Today, 149 of the world's roughly 200 nations have signed up for the new Silk Road, the biggest trade-sharing project in human history. The project was launched 10 years ago as the Silk Road Economic Belt. It is now known as the BRI, standing for Belt and Road Initiative. The belt refers to the Silk Road Economic Belt, the land tracks that famous travellers such as Marco Polo and Ibn Battuta used in the north. Now, the road refers to the sea lanes of the sea voyages of Ming Dynasty explorer Zheng He in the south. The project is enjoying some success now, but the ultimate long-term aim is even more ambitious: to create global peace through shared prosperity by 2049. It's a brilliant goal, but difficult. After its 2013 launch, the new Silk Road grew fast. By 2017, the BRI project was already one of the largest infrastructure and investment projects in human history. By then, China had made deals with 68 countries, covering 65% of the world's population. Now, with 149 countries on the list, the size of the global benefits can be calculated. The BRI project is likely to increase the world's GDP by 7.1 trillion a year by 2040. That's according to research by London-based consultancy group Centre for Economics and Business Research. Prosperity will be boosted as improved infrastructure reduces frictions that hold back world trade. That's what the analysts said from that group. The BRI works by the creation of massive infrastructure projects such as superhighways, rail links, ports, and these boost trade and transport for everyone. The World Bank has estimated that the BRI can boost trade flows in participating countries by a healthy 4.1% annually, helping poor nations to develop. But we should remember that none of this is free. The project is a huge gamble for China. It involves that country, though still at a developing stage, investing astonishing amounts of money and time in creating infrastructure in nations around the world. Now, that money often goes to poorer countries. Those include, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, in South Asia, a number of nations in Africa, also Latin America. This is often a thankless task. Some countries will pay the Chinese back, some will not. A significant number will ask for financial deals to be renegotiated, and a number have already done so. There's been a host of attempts made to label the BRI projects as debt traps to ensnare poor countries, but the charges in general have not stuck. Chinese interest rates are similar or lower than those from other sources. In cases where difficulties have arisen, the debts have been renegotiated and in some cases cancelled. For example, the Chinese were blamed for the debt problems of Sri Lanka, but data released by that country this week showed that only 14% of its debt was owed to China. The vast majority was owed to Western banks and Western vulture funds. But the BRI project is not without its critics. The Silk Road project was denounced in its early years by the West as a terrible idea. And then the West launched a copy of it, and then a second, and then a third. But Western efforts have never really gained much traction, despite the West's ownership, control of the international media. To some analysts, this is really a clash of philosophies. China builds relationships through its skill in creating infrastructure in extraordinarily difficult environments. But China has very low-level skills in Western-style narrative creation. In contrast, the US uses the international media to paint itself as the registered good guy owner of concepts such as freedom, democracy, and human rights, while relentlessly interfering in the politics of countries around the world. Yet ultimately, the US may control the global narrative, but it can't control reality. Some 87% of the world does not live in the West, and the governments of those people have to go with what works. Well-built infrastructure projects, good roads, rail links, prospects of increased trade. These are all things that benefit societies everywhere. Peace through shared prosperity is a grand concept and a worthy goal, but it can only be achieved by small, practical steps, brick by individual brick. That's the way to go. Peace.